Welcome back to Today's video. Playing skylines. In today's video, we're going to be building up this area to the left, of our transit hub. And so we're first starting out by putting in three hotels in here. Two of them are fairly big hotels, and one of them is just a small little, more budget-friendly hotel type thing. And I also continue on our monorail line too a bit in this episode. But I first start off with one of the hotels. This one is the Deluxe Hotel. This one is pretty big, so just put it in there. And then because of the 10th birthday of City Skylines, they released a bunch of different new parks and stuff for free in a 10th anniversary thing. And it occurred to me, I was looking through the playlist. Last episode was the day before the year anniversary of this city. Just put that into perspective. But I put the transit park over near our big transit hub. Figured that it fit in over there. And I left the industrial park for near the industrial area. That's what we'll handle in a future episode probably. And then I put in the 10th and 9th birthday cakes parks in here too. Figured that I'd put them in here together. I really wanted to fit them in somewhere, and this is where I found to fit them in. But right behind the hotel, give them a nice view. Then I just needed to just change the radius of our turn for the monorail. Just because of how it sits, it wouldn't have made it into there. And then I just added another road around the back to put in some parking for this new monorail station. Then I started putting in the road network for the surrounding area of here, which it is somewhat, or it isn't a grid, actually, but it's mostly square angles. But then I, put in the roads that will then surround our bus hub here. I did need to do some messing around with it just to fit it in. And then for the city hotel here, this is more of a budget-friendly hotel that would be here. Due to this being our transit center or hub of the city, there would be definitely a lot of hotels around here since a lot of people would be coming in here and then staying around in this area due to it's in a great spot for tourism stuff. So, well, hotels, we need that for tourism. And then I also put in the business hotel. And then along with that, I started putting in a lot of commercial and offices in here. So we could then get the scores and stuff up on those hotels. And I just pretty much did a grid, slowly expanding it as we went further back for our commercial. And then I just put a bunch of offices right behind this complex of hotels too in here. And then along with this second monorail stop here, I got to think about what I should put in here. And I figured that we would do another pedestrian area right in here. So what I did is that I wanted to use the like centerpiece thing that I didn't use in the other little area that we did a while ago, but I wanted to use it in there. I forget what it's called. I think it's like the Promenade Shops or whatever, enclosed Promenade, something like that. But I put that in there. I do need a road to put it off of, so didn't need to just put in a road in there, but I then deleted it. And I replaced it with a pedestrian street, put in the service boy, and then I got to work on continuing to expand this whole area. So I first started off by, I pretty much just used that as a guide, that first piece I put in, and then I just expanded out from there, and then I also put in one where this goes straight across, and then I put it in a bus stop on that, just to give bus access to the center of here, because this is a pretty decent sized area. Did not have any sort of public transit inside of it. So I figured that I would do that instead of putting it around the outside and having, say, 2 or 3 stops. I could just do one. And then I'll probably put another line somewhere around here too. But for now, it's just that one line in there. And then I just put in a bunch of the different ploppable buildings down, I guess they're called. I don't know what their official name is, but put them in there. And then I also put in some zone commercial in here to add to the shopping needs of the hotels to bring that down more. And then I also continued on with the monorail line a bit too. And then I really wanted to put in these sunken shops here, but I couldn't fit them in the main area. Otherwise, I would need to pretty much get rid of a lot of it. So what I did is that I put in it across the street. And so there will just be a road cutting through it. It won't be complete pedestrian area. But for the most part, it is. And then I just put in the roads around it. And then I also put in some of the small little unique buildings to here you can only build one of, like, or the landmarks they're called. So I believe it's the residential landmark I put in there, and then also the office landmark. So I put them in here, and then I made the grid more standard size since it was bigger, since there was a road going through the middle before for this area. And then I brought it back down to the normal traditional size instead of having it at that much larger size, since that ain't needed there. Especially since now we aren't needed for space. So I figured that I would do that just to maximize the space we could have. And I also changed around this area a bit with moving those shops back a bit. I did put in bus lines for this area off camera. And I also did some finishing touches for the area too. But I put in the trees and stuff, and I also put in some residential in there. I also changed their style so this way they matched all other buildings inside of this pedestrian area that we put in today. But this is all I really did in this episode. Do hope you've enjoyed. If you haven't, make sure to subscribe. Do see the next one. And here's the final product too. But bye!